Holy shit, did that burn my mouth. I feel like I do that every time. What is up, everyone? What is going on? Here we are, another day in paradise. I can barely open my eyes. I don't like that little glare we got going in the back. We'll live with it. Need bench help. That is the first statement of the day. Yeah. I mean, like, look, when you watch yesterday's performance, you don't have Joel Embiid. I mean, you're so limited on your takeaway here based off of not having Joel Embiid. But I'm a little disappointed that we are even in this situation where he's not playing. Why isn't he playing? Play, damn it. He's been good all year. There's no doubt about it. When it comes to playing through adversity and playing through getting banged up, he's been there. But it's crazy. Oh, we got some Cali. We got some Cali lifestyle happening here, huh? What's the weather like in California right now? Skipping class to watch Coffee with Brodes. Now that is fucking awesome. Cheers. Cheers to skipping class. That was always a great feeling, wasn't it? Not going to class. And then you would get, as soon as the class was over, it's like, all right, well, all that for nothing. Do you think the Sixers practice driving more than shooting threes? No, I think, I don't know. If you remember at the beginning of the year, when they went on this crazy ride, everyone was like, yeah, this team's amazing. But I said, look, let's calm down a little bit. If we're 10 games in to a 72-game schedule, they haven't really played anybody yet. There's so much time. They're not going to be this dominant forever. And then here we are. What's up, Huff? What's going on? Skipping class, not cool. Oh, yeah, because I'm sure you went to every class. My ass. I know I didn't. What's up, Huff? What's going on? How do I feel about Korkmaz? I say this all the time, too. Everyone loves to get on me and then blow up my phone when Korkmaz drops 17 points. But no one says a damn thing for the 7 games in between each of those performances where he blows. As Furkan Korkmaz enters the chat. It's always the best. The last teams in shooting the three. Well, when Ben Simmons, it's like Ben Simmons assisting from 3 compared to Ben Simmons not assisting, like the one not out there on the floor. But you also got to remember, when that happens, you also have a significantly different roster out there. Normally when Ben's not out there, you also might not have top dogs out there too. Unless it's just Embiid, but then if just Embiid's out there, he's not going to be popping threes to that level. Figure we could have our cup of mud together? Absolutely. That's why we're here, baby. I'm having my Joe. Everyone's having the Joe. That's the point of this bad boy. Grab your cup of coffee, sit back, relax, throw Brodes up on the TV screen or whatever, rock it on your phone, and let's talk about last night. Howard killed the spacing with Ben. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the game, there was an issue with Ben Simmons being able to score. There was. Bro, I'm a biggest Ferk believer. I mentioned you a lot on Twitter, but these times sucked. That's because he sucks. If he's that aggressive with Embiid, that's the thing. I hate how people think that it can't happen. No one's begging for Ben Simmons to drop 42 points. No one. No one wants him to do that. Well, I mean, I want him to do that, but you don't need for him to drop 42 with Joel Embiid. To give me 13, which is what he was averaging for a decent amount of time this season, that's pathetic. That's unacceptable. That is what can't happen. Can't happen. I think by the end of the game, Ben was tired. Well, that pace of play the Utah Jazz played with, that's not normal. It's just not normal. I don't think that that's sustainable, to be honest with you. I don't think it's something that is realistic. It's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Wentz did not get traded. You think I'm going to fall for someone to do that? There was one person that threw J.J. Watt got released in my face, and I said, you're a liar. You think I'm going to fall for that? And then within seconds, I go check my phone, and they were actually right. But Wentz did not get traded. We should replace Furkan with Korver if he wants to play basketball anymore. That's where we're at. Oh, let's go pick up not Furkan. No. Let's go pick up Kyle Korver. Oh man. You give the Sixers props last night? Yeah, I'm not mad at them. I'm not look, they go up against the best team in basketball without Joel Embiid, and they were hanging in there. There was actually a moment in that fourth quarter when Ben and Tobias were balling out and keeping them involved and engaged. I thought that there was a chance that they'd squeak it out. I really did. So you're right. From that standpoint of them battling and them being shorthanded and competing, I'm not mad at them. It is disappointing. And this is kind of how I described it in the post-game pod. A mixture of emotions. Upset Joel didn't play. Happy Ben played the way that he did. Stoked Tobias balled out and had 36. Frustrated with the bench play. Irritated with some of the shooters. Like, I'm happy here. I'm mad here. I'm upset there. I'm frustrated here. It's all these combination of emotions. What's up, Pat? Thanks for hopping in, bro. Thank you. Danny Green might bring a lot to the locker room, but he brings very little on the court. Yeah, but we knew that, though. So this is where I'm frustrated with like the conversation about the team. You got rid of Al Horford. There's a reason why Danny Green and all of us discussed that contract, his expiring contract. You got rid of Al Horford. We thought it was the worst contract in the history of the NBA, although Blake Griffin would argue that he has the worst one. My point is, you get rid of Al Horford, who just didn't work here. You get Danny Green. I don't know what you expect to get in return from that. That is kind of what you get in return. This is a step one of a 5-step process for Daryl Morey. That's the way that I see it. Put some respect on Australian brother Ben Simmons. Oh, I respect Ben. I know he's elite. The problem is he doesn't give me elite enough. Oh, he's elite, all right, and I respect the hell out of that. And I'll put respect on his name. There's a difference, though, right? There's a difference. Mike Scott got to go. Yeah, Mike Scott at this point is somewhat irrelevant. I was shocked. That they threw him in there at the 5, but I guess it makes sense considering Dwight Howard's just never going to start at the 5. What's the best Sixers game I've been to? Well, at the end of the season before COVID happened, I was covering the team for 97.3, so I was going as a media member, and there were some pretty damn explosive nights. Embiid had 40-plus against the Hawks. That was crazy. As a fan, though, in the stands, I don't really know the one that pops off into my head to that level. Believe it or not, I did go to a game where Korkmaz dropped like, whew, man, I don't want to go as crazy as 30, but it was a lot. And, of course, my buddies were ripping me the whole time. Couldn't even enjoy it. It's like, damn, I can't believe I didn't Venmo my buddy the money for the tickets. I'm not paying you for this garbage. You took me to this. I'm not paying for this for the crap. Of course I paid him. Worst player, Korkmaz or Vince Velasquez? I'm going to go with Vinny V, and here's why. When he's in your starting 5, that is a significant role. Furkan is off your bench, 8th man-ish or so. When everyone's healthy, it's Shake first, Dwight Howard, Korkmaz. Now he's like your 8th guy that doesn't log as many minutes. When Vinny V is talked about here, you are discussing him being in your starting rotation. So you know what? I'll take a sidestep on Korkmaz here, and I will go with the answer of Vinny Velasquez. Streaming from school right now. Who needs school when you got sports? Well, Chris, I can't respect that any more than I do. That is a fantastic thing. Just got expelled from online school because watching Coffee with Brodes is more important than attending Zooms. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with any of this content, fellas. Why can't Ben Simmons average 18 a night, Brodes? All I want. Huff, you and me both, dude. You and me both. And that's where the disconnect is. No one's claiming that Ben Simmons needs to be that. It would be awesome, but it's not realistic considering what Joel Embiid needs to do as well. Him dropping 30 plus, but he was giving us 13. 13. Ben, Joel Embiid being on the floor doesn't stop you from hitting your free throws. It doesn't stop you from getting to the line more. It just doesn't. It doesn't. You can be a more aggressive player than you were. And look, he still had the numbers assist-wise and all. It wasn't as if he wasn't passing the rock. No, those numbers were there too, and it could have been even higher. It's crazy. Crazy. Thibault is a liability on offense. It's hard to watch him and Simmons. Yeah, there's something to that. I also think he's so insane defensively. He brings this other element to the team that is wild to a positive note as well. Bam from Miami puts up more than 13. Huff, you're preaching to the choir, bro. Preaching to the choir. Are the Sixers going to finish first to play the 8th seeded Heat? I don't know. I don't know. I told you that this team is built to win a lot of regular season games, so they are going to win those games. The good thing about that is there is a comfort level when it comes to playing at the Wells Fargo Center that they constantly win games there. So even though there's no fans, maybe you get a little lucky that it translates to just winning games at home, and that can help them make a push. Maybe it's just the color of the floor that's the difference maker for this team at times. Was Bryce Harper worth the money? Absolutely. Would you disagree, Dominic? I want to know if you disagree. Do you think Bryce Harper's worth the money? Because it's a no-brainer to me. What's up, Alec? What's happening, dude? What's going on? I mean, let's be honest. The main difference between him and the Freak is aggressiveness. Yeah, I can't argue that. I can't argue that at all. Switched up the coffee today, by the way, fellas. I've been digging, just because I wanted to finish the bag, even though I'm not finished it yet. I've been crushing the Starbucks Blonde Roast. We have now made the transition for a little Wawa Hazelnut. Wawa Hazelnut. Thank you so much for the $3 donation from Chris Sheehan. Love the content. Why love you, Chris? How about that? Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I appreciate it. Harper's definitely worth it. Absolutely. Thibault definitely got to get a constant 3. Yeah, for sure. But it's almost as if right now, and maybe they're working on it behind the scenes. I don't know. But the way Doc, what's the word I'm looking for here? The way that he described Ben Simmons to us is like, I just want him to go play. I just want him to go be who he is. I just want Ben to play the version of Ben Simmons. That's what we want. And that's what he allowed him to do, right? And then eventually we want more, and as we should want more. Well, with Matisse, I think it's the same way. Doc Rivers is kind of going down the path of Matisse. Just play your game. Just be that defensive threat. Be that version of yourself. Don't worry about the offensive side. That's what Doc is doing right now. It seems, at least. Furkan Korkmaz comes in with a $2 donation. Love you, homie. Have a great day. Go Sixers. Thank you, Furkan Korkmaz. And then Logan with a $5 donation. Flyers are back Thursday. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. What did they have? They were supposed to have practice on Monday. They didn't. Then what they got moved to today? So I'm trying to see if I see any reports from any of the Flyers beat guys, but I don't see anything. So I guess that means I expect them to be practicing today. What people don't understand is that we know what Ben brings, but we're disappointed because he can be so much better than he is. I think you're right when you say we know what Ben brings. We know what he brings, and we know that he can do that more often. Yeah, it's the inconsistency thing is what it is. What did I think of the third period collapse? I thought that was hilarious. I really did. I thought that was so funny. Toronto media is going to destroy this team. That was brutal. I watched the extended highlights to see how it all went down last night because obviously watching the Sixers, I didn't get that great of a chance to dive deep into the Toronto game. And plus, when I saw it was 5-1, I was like, you know what? Screw it. They're just going to destroy them. And they let that shorthanded goal up right before the third period started. It was the end of the second. Then there was a breakaway coming out of the box early third. A beautiful goal on Freddie Anderson. I thought it was hilarious. What's up, Taylor? What's going on? What do we got here? Brandon. Does going one with the $10 donation. Wow, thank you so much, Brandon. That means the world to me. Does going 1-3 on the road trip have you at all concerned? What moves do you think Morey should make? What moves will he make, in your opinion? Okay, so going 1-3, I'm disappointed. Am I concerned? No, what is there to be concerned about? They went up against 4 teams that, look, the Sacramento Kings, well, I don't think that they're some fascinating team by any stretch of the imagination. They were on a hot streak when they played, and the Sixers got the dub that game. That was the game that they won. Then they lost. What was the game that they won? Was it Portland or was it? I'm losing my mind. So many damn games, and they're so late at night. So I'm gonna check real quick. But when did they? It started Thursday, right? Yeah. Okay. So the game they did win, I was right, was the Kings. That was Tuesday. So no, I'm not. I'm not like insanely concerned. I think this is what an NBA regular season is. You go through great stretches, you go through lulls. You just feel this way because you're emotionally tied to this team. I watched the Lakers go to double overtime against the Pistons a few weeks ago. Like, it just happens. This is a flow. You're going out west, you're playing good teams. Does this concern me? Not really, only because my expectations weren't what everybody else saw when they started out so red hot and they were winning all those basketball games. I knew that there would be some sort of happy medium that they would fall into, and I didn't expect them to go from last year to some dominating force. Do they need some help? Yeah, absolutely. They need some help. And what moves do I think they should make? They're probably going to be in the category. I'll give you realistic options. They're going to be in the category of the George Hill, the DeLon Wright. Those names were surfacing yesterday. Those are the type of names that will be on the table. Chris comes in with a $2 donation. I should make a NFL mock draft first round video. I will. As the draft continues to get a little closer, that will definitely happen. We got a $5 donation coming in with no comment. Just the $5 donation. Thank you so much, me, for the 5. I want to get back to Brandon, though, with this conversation here that he threw up. I said when this team plays the best of their capability, they're in the conversation with the top teams in the East. And that's just a reality, right? Like, I do believe that when they play to their best of their ability. Now, can they do that consistently enough? How often will they do that? That's a fair question to ask. Because as I kind of mentioned, you went on the West Coast and you play tough teams. Now they're playing tougher teams. They go 1-3. Well, can you look at the correlation there? When you play tougher teams, it's not going to be as easy. Ding, ding, ding. Kind of like when they were running off with wins early in the season. They had the second easiest schedule in the NBA, and everyone wanted to get all hard on anyone that brought up the fact that, well, the talent on the other side wasn't that crazy. I guess just to summarize, though, once again, I'm not concerned because my expectations weren't to this insane level. I think this falls in the category of what my expectations were. That makes sense. If Blake Griffin gets bought out, I think that makes perfect sense. I think Blake Griffin stinks at this point. He's washed. He's got nothing. Do you watch him? Nothing. Brandon, what's up, Brodes? Morning, bro. What's going on? Ton of emojis. Giving me a little peace emojis and a wave. What's happening? Are you drinking your coffee? Do I think Connor McDavid should be banned from the NHL because he makes it look like he's playing on shell rookie mode? It's wild. I can't even describe to you how nuts I think it is that he plays the way that he plays. By the way, speaking of NHL, yesterday I released the first episode of Open Ice Hits, which is an NHL podcast that I'm doing with Flyers insider Kevin Durso. It's a league podcast, though. It's not just breaking down the Flyers or anything. We look at the entire league. So make sure you go check that out. We have a weekly guest on, and that weekly guest is Johnny Gaudreau of the Calgary Flames. And how about this? We end up having him on the show, and then last night he scores the overtime winners. There a correlation? Absolutely. If you're a hockey fan, go check it out. It's going to be an awesome pod. I'm super excited for it. Should I throw the house on JVR goal this upcoming Thursday or what? I'm not going to tell you yes. I know you probably want me to say yes, but I ain't going to tell you yes. JVR's been on fire, though. Yeah, the Ottawa-Toronto game was nuts. I thought the Calgary game was crazy, too. There was a lot of good hockey on last night. A lot of good puck. If you don't have the NHL Game Center, you're missing out. Lots of good action last night. Skylar says, Brodes, that was a fire pod. Well, thank you. Thank you for checking in and chiming in. Yeah, the plan is Mondays and Thursdays. We will be releasing an episode. Who's more of a loser, Blake Griffin or Russell Westbrook? Man, I think Russell Westbrook's personality shines more. Like he's more in your face, kind of. So I guess I lean towards Russell Westbrook. I honestly believe Blake Griffin is out of sight, out of mind. Does anyone ever think of Blake Griffin? Does anyone ever talk about Blake Griffin? Not really. While you have Russell Westbrook, annoying, in your face, triple doubles, trying to brag about his play, thinking he's the greatest. I think his personality shines more. This is from Carlum. What do you think the difference between Brett's system versus what we've seen in Doc's system this far? Well, here's the problem with that. And I know people don't like this answer, but it's a reality. And look, Doc Rivers' impact is clearly there. I think a lot of coaches in year one have a strong impact. Year 7, like Brett was, majority of coaches lose their voice after 7 seasons. I would say 95% of coaches. The only ones that don't, you're going to throw at me, would be Greg Popovich. It would be Eric Spoelstra. It would be the very limited few that make a higher impact than others. And that's fine, because I think Doc Rivers falls in that category, so I can't complain. I'm just throwing that out there, that it's not crazy to lose your message after 7 years. You have a different team. You have a totally different squad. You have spacing on the floor. Now, right now, those guys are missing their shots. Seth, Danny Green, they're not actually drilling their shots, so that might skew how you feel about it. But you can do different things when Josh Richardson and Al Horford are not on your team. So the difference between Brett and Doc, it's night and day with what you can even do. But with that being said, early in the year, this came right out of Joel Embiid's mouth. All right? This came out of Joel Embiid's mouth. We're not even doing much. We're not even doing anything different. The only difference is spacing. We're not even doing much different. Now, there's been more time for them to try new things and to work in different elements, which is, common throughout a regular season. You add, you adapt, you become different style of players. You work with different rotations and all. So, yeah, I'm talking about early in the year, though. He straight up, even when they were winning all those games, we haven't even done anything different. The difference is the spacing around me. And that was Joel Embiid being straight up honest. In terms of what they do different, I think majority of it is spacing. Spacing gives you the ability to do more. Yes, I remember when Papelbon was our closer, sadly. DJ Eastwood checking in. What's up, dude? What's going on? Ben, Matisse, Green, and 5 firsts for Jordan Clarkson. Yeah, he was red hot last night, huh? He's having a great year. Talk about performing off the bench. He had just as many threes as the entire Sixers team. Furcon comes back in. Keeping up with these donations. Thank you, Furcon. I appreciate it. Who's more frustrating to watch, Josh Richardson or Furcon? I don't know. The Josh Richardson was also limited time. 1 season. I don't think that really gives out the emotion. It's funny you bring that up. So yesterday on the Sports Bash, Josh Henning was filling in for Mike Gill, and the name Nelson Aguilar came up. And out of nowhere, all these text messages came into the text board. People were not happy, and it triggered them. Nelson Aguilar, that name triggered everyone. The text board was flying with texts. And then we kind of had this side topic of who triggers, like what type of guy triggers people? And you bring Furcon up. Yeah, that triggered me. Al Horford's name came up. Well, I think if Al Horford triggered people, but he wasn't here long enough to have the impact of Nelson Aguilar. When you hear Nelson Aguilar, I think people burn inside. When you hear Gabe Kapler, people burn inside. What are some other names where people literally burn inside? See, I don't think Chip Kelly was one. Chip Kelly was brought up. Here's why I don't think that's That's a name. I think when you think of Chip Kelly, I think it's almost out of sight, out of mind. Well, they won with Doug Peterson. They won the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, this drama, all this that's happening with the Eagles takes away from anything hatred-wise towards Chip Kelly. So what type of player or manager or coach triggers people? Nick Pivetta. Now, that triggers people. I do think that triggers people, not to the level of Gabe or Aguilar. Nah, see, I don't think Marcus Smith triggers people. When you mention Marcus Smith, do you think people really burn inside? Or at this point, do they just laugh huh, yeah, that was brutal? You know? Hector Neris, Orlando Scandrick. That's one. I can get behind an Orlando Scandrick. That is what we're looking at. There's some guys that I think, see, McNabb, no. That doesn't. Oh, yeah, the caveat here was why McNabb wouldn't fit. We're not talking stars. So you can't say Ben Simmons. You can't say Howie Roseman. You can't say Claude Giroux. You can't take the big names because there's obviously big names that force people to feel an emotional way. We're talking about more about those secondary guys. So no Howie and no Ben Simmons. You could say Ben Simmons and then go on a rant for 300,000 years. You know what I mean? We get a YouTube donation here from Alec Pags. Hold on. I'm trying to pop it up. I'm trying. People keep commenting. I can't hit the button. Did I get it? No, I got Ron Hextall up there. I'm trying. Ron Hextall's a decent answer, though. What happened to it? I'm trying here. Show. Here we go. Alec Pags with the $10 donation goes Ilya Brizgalov. Yeah, Briz is one. I think Briz won. I don't know if that falls high on the list. So I think that maybe that's the floor. Knapp is one. Sean Rodriguez is one. How crazy. We're throwing a lot of Philadelphia Phillies in there. Nah, Zach Renato. Nate Gary. That's what I'm talking about. Now that name pops. That's a good one. That one's high up on the list. Andrew McDonald's a good one, too. I like where we're at here. I kind of want to list this because I think Gabe Kapler's number one. Although Nate Gary can take the spot. Nah, not so much Steve Mason. I don't think Steve Mason's there. Maybe we'll implement this more, like a little question of the day. Matt Pryor. I think that's too short term, though. That's just because of the right now. I don't think Matt Pryor's name will be brought up in a year or two and everyone's all losing their head. Dominic Brown. Yeah, I guess, Dominic Brown would fit in that category just because the expectations were so this guy's going to be dominant, and it wasn't necessarily the case. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? Okay, all right. Now we're getting somewhere. I like this list. We're doing well. Kiko Alonso. I don't know. Hector Neris, Hector Neris is that line. You talk about the Hall of Fame line and will people get in? Will they not get in? I think Hector Neris is on that line of maybe he's there, maybe he's not. Gabe Kapler chimes in. I know deep down you missed me behind the dugout, Brodes. No, we're not doing this again. Dave Haxtell. I don't think Dave Haxtell had enough personality. I really don't. And because of the Flyers fan base being in a different mentality now than they used to be, I don't think it holds enough power. Markel Fultz, yeah, I mean, he'd fall in that category. But, yeah, he'd fall in that category. There's some, though, that just move that needle more. I think, just for some examples, Nate Gary, Gabe Kapler, Nelson Aguilar's one. I do think that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside could be in there. But then there are some that are, they trigger people, but not to the same level of intensity. You bring up Nate Gary, and it's a different story. Audie James, how about that Flames power play? Look, it's not ironic that we have Johnny Gaudreau on the podcast yesterday, and he goes out and scores an overtime game winner. I think it's the power of open ice hits. I think it's a product of that. Oh, hold on. We got another $5 donation coming in. Ben Simmons has been a bit more aggressive lately. Do you think he can keep it up, and can his play translate and be successful in the playoffs? That is the big question mark, and I hate to harp on that, but that is the reality of the situation, right? It just is. You saw a late game now. Hold on. Against the Portland Trailblazers, that game, that play by Doc Rivers late, why did that not work? Because no one respected Ben Simmons to guard him. Late in this game, why did Ben Simmons' scoring not work? Well, because the spacing was out of whack and Dwight Howard being there. Now, the difference is Joel Embiid would be on the floor. You would have a different scoring option. Spacing would be different. So I'm fully aware of that. But I love the aggressiveness. It's very reasonable. It doesn't mean I hate Ben Simmons to question how this would translate. I'm basing it off of the history of his playoff tenure here. He has not been able to execute. It has not been able to translate. So to wonder if it translates, it's very, very acceptable. It doesn't have to be that you get sucked into just hoping it works and, you shouldn't look at it objectively just because you're a fan of Ben Simmons. No, you should be able to question it. So the way I look at it is I don't know if it can translate. I have worries that it won't translate. I do. I have worries that it won't translate because all these games, when you play the Hornets, when you play the Hawks, when you play the Cavs, like when you play these teams, and while they might have some fun players, Colin Sexton, when you play these teams in the regular season, that doesn't compare to going up 7 games against any of the top dogs. Play 7 games against the Suns. Play 7 games against the Jazz. Play 7 games against these teams. Guess what? You're going to have a different outcome, and you get emotionally sucked into watching 60, 70% of the regular season, which are against bum-ass teams that are irrelevant to what you're going to see when it matters. I wasn't screaming at you, by the way, Carlum, for the donation. I got a little, you know what I mean? I got a little crazy there. That was a great question. And thank you so much for the donation. That was more just the frustration towards the way I feel about Ben. He's a guy that triggers. Furkan Korkmaz is Matt's number 1 hate the face. He's up there on my list, no doubt about it. What happened to Shayok? They got rid of him. Whew, man, this coffee just stays so damn hot in this Yeti, it's almost overwhelming. Not mad about it, though. What's up, Andrew Ward? What's going on? Amir Johnson. Amir Johnson stunk. He was brutal. I want Ben to miss the All-Star game so he can be humbled and continue. Yeah, I mean, I do think that there's a correlation. I think he plays stronger, plays harder when the All-Star voting comes around and he realizes he's not into it when he's not there. Furkan, back again, $2 donation. So ready for spring training in a day. Love you. Well, I love you too. Not going to say your name, though, because then someone's going to grab that audio cut and then throw it around the Twitter sphere. I know what you were doing. I know you were trying to trick me. Brodes, how excited are you for the Phillies baseball, even though by the end of every season I'm miserable? That's the way I feel, Jesse, and I can tie that into what Furkan said here with the $2 donation. So ready for the spring training. Yeah, I am too. I can't wait. But it's funny. We all sit here and we're excited for it, yet we know it's going to be miserable. It's going to be upsetting. It's going to be disappointing. If Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Smith, Zach Wilson, Devontae are all top 5, who should the Birds take? Well, those are the top 5 guys. Do we go outside corner? Maybe go outside corner. Help out Darius Slay a little bit. You can't go back with Avonte Maddox playing outside. When are we going to start holding Joel accountable for missing all these games? The team is built around him. I mean, for me to have you watched Joel Embiid, Wesley? Have you watched Joel Embiid this year? I'm mad. I'm not happy about it. It does seem like he pushes through some games where they're going up against some bums, and then here's a game against Rudy Gobert, and I don't want that smoke. It did have that type of attitude towards it. But to say, when are we going to start holding Joel Embiid accountable? My man is literally league MVP. Am I missing something here? My man is league MVP. I think we got to put that into perspective here. If Justin Fields is available, do we take him? If the Eagles have him on the draft board at a level where they respect him enough to take him, yes. It just comes down to where he falls on the Eagles draft board. He should be in the conversation. I'm not anti-quarterback. I'm not anti-quarterback at all. With where you're at now, how can you be? Joel Embiid's amazing, but he needs to be on the floor. He's not winning MVP, missing all these games. This is the reality of the situation. I'm not saying I like it. I'm giving you the reality of the situation. Regular season games don't matter. And that's how they view it. Okay, so they play the Jazz. Does this game have any relevance to what happens in the postseason? No. If his back is stiff, We'll sit him. We'll wait for the playoffs. I'm just letting you know what they do, how they do it. Alec Pags comes back in with another $10 donation. Love your content, dude. Keep up the great work. So excited for the future of Brodes Media. Thank you so much, Alec Pags. That is amazing. I really do appreciate that. My heart is getting warm and fuzzy. I don't know what to do. It's getting out of control. I don't like it. Actually, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm just not used to having my heart all warm and fuzzy. Because I'm cold. I'm cold-hearted. Especially towards Ben Simmons. Am I right? Jeez, that guy pisses me off. Thank you so much, Alec. I really do appreciate it. All jokes aside. What's up, Jack? What's going on? The Jazz are the best team in the NBA right now. How is that not a must-play game? Because it's a regular season. That's why. I'm just saying, I'm not telling you if I think it should be this way. I'm telling you how it is. There's a reason why Doc Rivers, when the team is where, he's okay with pulling the white flag in NBA regular season games and pulling all the starters, throwing out the bench late in games. All right, we'll pack this one in and we'll get the next one. Why? Because he's been around the league long enough to understand that some of these games are just, they are what they are. Sure, they're measuring stick games, but they're not the be-all of it all. You know what I mean? It's not, hey, this tells you everything. From a fan standpoint, well, look, you might not like it, Wesley. You might not like it. I'm telling you the reality of the situation. And if you think Doc is the superstar head coach that he is, he feels the same way. And his track record shows you that. So if you love Doc and you appreciate him and you say he's unbelievable, which he's a good head coach in this league for sure, you're going against what he thinks in that area because it's pretty damn obvious that it's just another regular season game. I'm not happy about it. I don't want it to be this way. I'm just giving you the facts. Unfortunately, we don't have it the way we want and everything. If we could have everything we wanted, it's a different story. Danny's too inconsistent. That's called being a shooter in the NBA. Sam, every shooter in the NBA is inconsistent for the most part. You know? He's going to hurt us in the playoffs. Look, shooters are shooters. He's also going to help you in the playoffs. He might hurt you in the playoffs. He's also going to help you in the playoffs because there's going to be the opposite of those nights. I do appreciate Doc. At least the team believes in what coaching staff is. So, yeah, they have the most professional coaching staff from top to bottom in the NBA, I could argue. And that's what happens year one. Year 7 is a different story. And that's kind of what you had at the end of Brett Brown. Year 7, NBA coaches don't have the same voice. We need another reliable perimeter scorer. We need a lot of things. How about those Furkan air balls? I need more minutes from him. Oh, Jason. You're funny. Oh, man. The people who don't appreciate black coffee, you're sick in the head. That's my statement of the day. You're sick in the damn head. Thank you, Furkan, for coming in with another $1 donation. I really appreciate it. This is overwhelming. It really is. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It's annoying how we haven't played Milwaukee yet or Brooklyn healthy. I know. It definitely is annoying. I'm not saying I'm happy about this. I'm not saying anything other than this is reality of the situation. Do I think that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid will make first team all defense this year? Ben Simmons is lethal defensively. He should win Defensive Player of the Year if he continues to play the way that he shows. Really, I don't know who can defend the way he does. It's pretty damn wild. Am I going to rock the Aviators tomorrow? Oh, I should, huh? That should be something I do, just to remember Gabe Kapler. I don't ever want to remember Gabe Kapler, though. Ever. Yet, he's always on my mind. Why is that? Why does that happen to me? We should play Milwaukee 3 times in the second half of the season, bros. Yeah, that's right. We haven't even – I forgot all about that. They released the first half of the schedule, so I guess pretty soon they should be throwing some out there, right? Throwing out what's next, unless they're – I don't know if the plans are let it ride out, and then over the week, the break that they have, that's when they're going to come out with the schedule again. So maybe that's their plan. During the break, they're going to redo the schedule. Isaiah Joe needs more minutes. That's what a lot of people have been calling for. A lot of people have been calling for more of Isaiah Joe, which I'd be okay with. I just want to warn everybody, Isaiah Joe's not going to come in and be a world beater. You know? Bucks are struggling. A lot of these teams are struggling. And that's why I always say, look, we are all tied to the Sixers, but take a look around the league. Going 1-3 on a roadie, teams do this. AJ says, good morning, Brodes. I believe I'm better than Furcon. A 2-minute Twitter clip should show my worth. I've been there. Thoughts on the Heat this season? Well, remember, they went through that insane stretch without having Jimmy Butler for about 2 weeks, which totally killed them. And they weren't able to really be as effective as they wanted to be. But I thought last year was a hot ride. And then, look, it happens. You go through great seasons. You go through great stretches. And then the next year you come back and you're not the same team. I did question how much of their run last year was because of the environment, because of the COVID-19 and going back to the bubble and having this ride and going on this journey. Did I think that same Heat team would have made the same run if there were fans in the stands and it was normal? To be honest with you, no. And I think a lot of it had to do with COVID and Jimmy Butler not being there, but I also think a product of, what happened last year really helped the Miami Heat and benefited them. We should try Paul Reed out at the 4. That's really blind faith, hoping something sticks. I mean, that's really going out on a limb. We need Shake Milton back for the bench. He is key. Let's just have Korkmaz ready to shoot and stop having him to dribble. That's what I said yesterday, Milton, on the post-game pod. As much as I can't stand Furcon, he's being put in a position right now to fail. Without Shake Milton on the floor, you're asking him to do too much. You're asking him to do a lot. You're asking him to be a different version of himself that he's not capable of being, and it's not needed. You don't need him to put the ball on the floor and try and do this and shoot off the dribble as much. Go stand in the damn corner. So you're asking him to be in a role that doesn't benefit him. You're putting him in a bad situation. And it's not Doc Rivers' fault. It's all you have. There's a difference. When you're limited in options, it's all you have. They've been limited in options, by the way, in years past. Jordan says, good work with Inside the Birds, Brodes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Inside the Birds. They're the best. Absolutely the best. Jeff Mosher, Adam Kaplan. During the offseason, they drop pods on Mondays and Thursdays. Make sure you check them out. I love this Furcon hate, though. I feel like it's getting stronger as the games go on, right? Dwight looked like Los Angeles Ram last night. Afterwards, you heard what happened with Dwight Howard and his family. That is terrible news. And the fact that, he wanted to be out there to play and compete, I acknowledge that. And I appreciate that even more that he did it 100%. It's got to be a tough thing to do. I will always go back to the Dwight Howard experiment. Fascinates me. I'm fascinated to see how it plays out. I really do. What's going on with Dario? What did I miss about Dario Saric? How about the fact that Dario Saric was defending Joel Embiid? He had a good night at the office, though, when the Sixers played the Suns that night. I think it would be worth it to look into Jeremy Lin. See, this is where we're crossing the line. Think about how desperate that is. Kane, with all due respect, now we think Jeremy Lin as the backup guy is the move here. I just don't, I think there's a line. Furcon coming in with another $2. Low-key, I want that man Dario Saric back. You know how we just talked about a name that triggers people? For some reason, Dario's the complete opposite. He's a name that he triggers people, but for the high side of it, for the upside. Where's this emotional tie to Dario Saric? He was labeled an untouchable at one point. Everyone feels this way, though. It's not just Furkan Korkmaz here, and I hate how I have to keep referencing him as Furkan, as if he is Furkan, but hey, that's the name that's being thrown out there. Where did this insane love for Dario come into play? Just laughable to me. How did Dario, at this tough city, we talk about being hard, no, we talk about being tough to play for, this city's intense. Somehow Dario Saric got this pass of, this guy's elite, this guy's great. How did this happen? How did Dario Saric fall in this category? It really is crazy. He's one of the originals. Yeah, but is there the same love for, I mean, I guess there is if you think about it, but it's different. There's love for Robert Covington, but there's more frustration. I think he stinks. I think Robert Covington stinks. His defensive stats are very flawed analytically. He's not a good one-on-one defender. Robert Covington stunk. TJ McConnell, you're right. I guess people do feel that same. All right, so Joseph comes in and goes, Dario's the GOAT. Come on now. Why? Why do you feel like Dario Saric is the GOAT? What did Dario Saric do to be labeled, quote, the GOAT? I would love to know. And like TJ McConnell falls in that category. Everyone loves him. See, now let's do the flip side. Who's the other guy? Who's the other side? We talked about the players that people bash and the name sparks this energy of hate. Who sparks the energy of love? Dario Saric is clearly one. TJ McConnell's two. Is there someone that when you just see it's all up, Chase Utley's three? But I guess we can't put stars on the list because there's going to be stars. Yeah, TJ had heart. He also stunk. TJ had heart, but he also stunk. He just is. That's the argument. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Hector's between love and hate. I think there's more hate than love with Hector Neris. I really do. More tough moments than great moments out of Hector. Hector the Protector. Tony Roten. Nick Foles. Yeah, Nick Foles. Nick Foles. That's good because he stinks too. That's good because Nick Foles is bad. Nick Foles is a bad quarterback. That's funny. Here's Greg Ward. I won't put on the list, and here's why. Slot receivers. Greg Ward is a fine slot receiver. When you look around the league, sure, you can point out a few slot receivers, but for what his role is, I think, yeah, I wouldn't put Greg. I wouldn't put Greg Ward in that category because I think his role is valid. That's kind of how I look at it. I think the role is valid. Another $2 from Furkan. 100-plus people in the chat. Let's keep it going. Yeah, the chat is rolling this morning. Love it. Alshon Jeffrey's a fit. Alshon Jeffrey's a hate the face. He's not so much I can't read. There's so many guys coming in. Carlos Ruiz. Come on. No, Carlos Ruiz deserves the love. Carlos Ruiz deserves the love. I'm talking about guys who don't deserve it. TJ McConnell didn't deserve that type of love. Dario Saric didn't deserve that type of love. Billy comes in and says Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson deserved it. Brad Lidge deserved it. Deuce Staley deserved it. But from a coaching angle, I can get behind the Deuce Staley one, Greg. So if you're coming in from a coaching standpoint, I think that is very fair. Todd Pinkston, I think everyone hated all the wide receivers so much that stretch with Donovan McNabb, that makes it hard for me. There's like a weird black smoke in the air for that. Why Ruiz? What do you mean, why Ruiz? Look at his career. Do I think we overvalue? Does Carlos Ruiz pop around the MLB? No, not so much. But to put him in the same category of a Dario Saric and a TJ McConnell. Now we're disrespecting Chooch. I agree that Chooch definitely is elevated a bit, but he had some really good years. Really good years. Let's look up Chooch's stats. Carlos Ruiz. You go back and look. Chooch had a nice fucking career, man. He really did. Underappreciated. From 2006 to 2015 with the Fightin' Phils. And in that time, you can look the averages with the Phils. Hit 266. I mean, obviously, he wasn't the most explosive powerhouse offensively. But for him to log in the amount of games that he did, he played over 1,000 games, close to 1,070 games for the Phillies behind the dish. He was an all-star in 2012 at the age of 33, hitting 325. He gave you a year of hitting 302. He gave you a year of 283. Now, there were tougher moments at 255, 219, but he had a nice stretch of successful baseball there where now put him in the category of Dario Saric and TJ McConnell. That hurts me. That hurts me. That hurts me. Heath Embry. Oh, jeez. Don't do this to me. Hey, I do want to throw this out there. I'm now on TikTok. That's right. I made the move. At Brodes Media. I want you to go follow me on TikTok right now. Right now. Pull out your phones. Go to TikTok. Brodes Media. At Brodes Media. I'll have some post-game reaction stuff up there. Some funny little clips. We're making the transition to a little TikTok. So make sure you go on in over there. John Mayberry. Thad Young, Iggy, Jeremy Grant, all guys I love. Oh, I hate Iggy. Hate him. Can't stand him. Can't stand Iguodala. And I really don't even know if it's anything to do with what he did here. I think it's about everything after that. I just, oof. The video with the In the Club audio was priceless. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Billy Wagner? No, I'm not doing TikTok dances. You're not going to see me doing the Bust It Challenge. If you want me to be doing the Bust It Challenge, you're following the wrong TikTok. None of that. None of the dances here. I'm not going to be like a 15-year-old girl that looks 25 and dancing. That's not up my alley. Alan comes in with another $10. Can we expect to see the WAP on your TikTok? No, not even for $10 donations. I swear to God, I will not do that for money. No, I wouldn't do that for money. Not for money. Not for money. I would never. Where's my wife? She's out there. It's actually the fiance. She could be making a coffee right now. Or I'm just hearing noises. Anyone agree that Doc Rivers is the best thing to happen to this franchise? I would disagree, and here's why. Joel Embiid, the process, getting Joel Embiid. Did my microphone turn off? Oh, no, there you go. Getting Joel Embiid was the best thing to happen to this organization. Doc Rivers would only get you so far. Joel Embiid was the best thing to happen to this organization. No doubt about it. For some Wawa coffee? Would I do the WAP for some Wawa coffee? I got some Wawa coffee right here. Now people want me to make an OnlyFans. Now we're getting a little outrageous. Now people want me to make OnlyFans. Not only anyone, but Nick Foles came into the chat saying make an OnlyFans. Look, I appreciate the support. We're going to draw the line. Would you dance if any Philly sports team won their championship? I would do more than dance. I think that we could do something better than TikTok dancing. Not at the moment, Greg. I'm chilling upstairs right now. Imagine someone telling you a few years ago Hinkie would be right. I believed in I believed in the system. The system wasn't flawed at all. The system made a lot of sense. The system was solid. I don't know how you could ever have, if you look at it logically, objectively, how do you win in the NBA? You got to have a superstar. What's the easiest way to get a superstar? Get the highest pick. How do you get the highest pick? Suck. How do you suck? Put TJ McConnell and Dario Saric on the floor. Bang. Go get your star. Go get your star. Super chat coming in from Alec. Another $5. WAP if the Sixers win the title. I'll think about it. That's the best answer you're going to get out of me. I'll think about it. Where do I think Andre Drummond will land? Where were the reports? Was it Toronto? I don't know. I think it was the news Toronto that I saw? Bears are the front runners to land Wentz. Yeah, I saw the article about Wentz and the Bears, and does Wentz want to go there? Does he not want to go there? I don't know. It's all nonsense, man. It really is. It's all nonsense. Brodes, who do you think is going to win the next championship? Well, it's between the Flyers and the Sixers. I think both are so damn intriguing in terms of how they're set up. You know, I don't think that either are going to do it this year, but I think they have the foundation. The first step is get the foundation. From there, make some moves and counter some things in free agency each offseason until you find the perfect fit. One of the reasons why, look, with Howie Roseman, he hit on every free agent that year and made some nice trades in season, get Jay Ajayi. But the big thing is, you had the foundation, and then you hit on the free agents. Build the foundation. I think the Sixers have the foundation. I think the Flyers have the foundation. Now it's about hitting right in free agency and getting the perfect fit. So it's between those two teams. And, but the way Joel Embiid's playing, that's what you need. You need a player like that to win a championship. Will Ben play like this next game? No. No. I hope I'm wrong. I'd be okay to be wrong here. By the way, here's your 2-minute warning. We have 2 minutes left of the stream. We go from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday morning. So here's your 2-minute warning. So fire in your questions here. Maybe we'll do a little rapid fire segment. Just throw them my way. Brodes, the Raptors need a center so badly. Well, guess what? When you lose Kawhi, when you lose Marc Gasol, when you lose Serge Ibaka, you're going to be a different version of yourself. You're going to be a different version of yourself. I hate the Eagles for what they did to Carson. Yeah, I mean, nobody likes it. I also think I don't like what Carson did to Carson either. You know, it's both of them. It's both parties here. Both parties are at fault. TikTok duet with Juju. I'll think about it. Furcon, $2. Love you, man. Almost 10. Tons of donos today. Yeah, 1 more minute until 10 o'clock. And yeah, a lot of donations. Thank you guys so much for all the donations. It's been a wild day here on the stream. I really, really appreciate that. It hits me here. Hits me in my feelings. And, you know, without you, none of this could be possible. So thank you, everyone who listens and watches every single day. I can't even put it into words what this means to me, the fact that I can do this, and it's a reality. And I got some big news coming within the next week or two that I want everyone to stay tuned for. Going to be very exciting. Brodes Media is on the prowl. And once again, this can't happen without the support of every single one of you. So the fact that, you know, there's 100+ people watching me drink my coffee in the morning just to kind of shoot the shit and hang out, it's unbelievable. It really is. So thank you so much, all of you, so much. Morning flow. Are you talking about the hairdo? Like the morning flow, just kind of rocking the lettuce out? Where are we at here? Show us the hair. Well, yeah, I mean, I wake up and I have my coffee. So this is natural here. No product. This is me waking up and this is the flow. That's how it works, though. You know, you wake up, you have your coffee. I'm not going to wake up and get all ready. That's for after the coffee. I love it. It's a nice Lululemon dry sensed hoodie that I'm obsessed with. Got to rock it with the hood up. You know what I mean? All right. Well, with that being said, everyone, thank you. We will be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to have some coffee. See you guys then.